Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as the nighttime skyline takes effect here in Hong Kong for this Game 2 of the 2017 Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. It's Hong Kong taking on Russia at Kings Park Sports Ground on the peninsula. Thank you for joining us today, wherever you are in the rugby universe. As these pitches come in, of course, there's a VIP area here. And of course the VIP area is well underway in Hong Kong, as you would expect, as the glitterati of Hong Kong Rugby Union take in a lovely evening, late autumn. And speaking of glitterati, possibly the intelligentsia of Hong Kong Rugby Union, Ray Asara joins me in the commentary position. Razor, what a treat to have you on board again.
It's good to be here, Jed. Thank you for inviting me. Looking at the VIP area, I'm going to tell you right now, the VIP area is right here, sitting next to you, with the pitch right in front of us. Looking forward to a great game ahead. Just watching the last game there, Kenya and Chile. How brutal, how physical was that game? I'm hoping to see the same here next up.
Well, it will be a battle of contrasting styles. As Hong Kong like to bring a game that gives them threat right across the park. And time and again, they've tried to take it to a Russian side who has been pretty brutal in the outcomes. Twice now the winners of the Cup of Nations. Their third time back in Hong Kong. I would say they're fairly settled. It's going to be an outstanding game for the first day of competition. And these two sides get ready to take to it. Here on the surface of Kings Park. Russia's third time. They won't be strangers to the environment at all, Razor.
No, they've been here before, and obviously they know the style of rugby here in Hong Kong, and no doubt they'll be here to prove themselves that they are one of the stronger nations here in this tournament. So it will be great to see what Hong Kong have got in store to try and stop what they've got there and get a win over the Russian boys.
So these tremendous shots brought to you by our camera team. As the area of Jordan starts to light up around the park. And Kings Park, for those of you who've been to Hong Kong, is pretty much the epicenter of Hong Kong rugby. Two teams including Kowloon Rugby Football Club and the Tigers, or the USRC Tigers, call this field home. You've trotted on here a few times yourself, Fraser.
I have, Jed. I have come and played a few games on this this well-known field called Kings Park. It is a wider field here in Hong Kong, but it'll be good to see the running rugby that we're about to see today. Tigers again. This is their home ground. Kowloon Rugby just down the way here, and surely there's a few Tigers boys, I should say. There, Dan Barlow, looking like he's lacing up today. So it'll be great to see him out there.
Please join me in giving a warm welcome.
Should be a good competition here.
And making his way out onto the pitch, the lone figure of Nick Hewson. His 50th cap for Hong Kong tonight. The Hong Kong skipper, stalwart of Hong Kong rugby. And the man that puts the red and black for the Valley side as well, Nick Hewson. Fairly humble guy. He won't be too happy with the having to run out on his own, but I'm pretty sure he'll have a little smile inside as both teams now take the pitch in Game 2 of the Cup of Nations for 2017. Russia and the blue, red, white and blue strip. Hong Kong and the solid red as we get ready now for the national anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of Hong Kong.
So Hong Kong taking on Russia, game 2 of the Cup of Nations. As both teams now take a minute for the fallen Zimbabwean player. And a minute's silence for Akombi. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, ready now for what will be a very, very interesting fixture as we take a look through the lineups. Barlow, Jansen, Rogers make a fairly definite front row for Hong Kong. Cunningham and Griffiths, Cunningham the power lock there. Houston on his 50th game, as well as being captain, the tearaway Toby Fenn at 7, and the talented Thomas Lumbele for Hong Kong at number 8, the Frenchman making his way into the side for his first Cup of Nations. And this a youngish looking team from Russia, and some of their European Challenge Cup players arrested for the Cup of Nations. Don't suspect there's going to be a big drop in form at all.
For a young team there, Jed, there's some big boys out there in the Russian team.
And into the reserves, the captain of last year's ARC, Ben Roberts, coming off the bench with Benny Higgins. And there's a fairly strong look about the Hong Kong bench, and they'll need to be too, just quietly to deal with the kind of power that we know that Russia can throw down on the ground. And suspect to see Russia trying to pin Hong Kong into the corners and start working away on them. Yes. Gayson, the first 5-8 for Russia, gets the start game underway, and a little knock on, it would seem, from number 11, Connor Hartley.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with that. A little bit of pre-game jitters, Jed. I think he's was a little bit too excited there, but he'll be looking to make means of that.
So Russia down exactly where Hong Kong don't want them to be within the first minute, and an early test of the set piece for Hong Kong.
Set.
As they loaded in, and Russian halfback Dorofeev gets the ball away. Again this time, finding the hooker, Zaleskia. Same way play, and they're playing with a bit of authority early on. Doesn't look like the plane trips affected these guys at all, Rayasara.
Yeah, it's a great start from the Russian team there. Early mistake there from Hong Kong, and then the penalty. So it's going to be a clear three-pointer here, I think, Jed.
Well, not unlike the opening of game 1 between Kenya and Chile, as we just take a look here, and into the contact flies number 1, Morozov. And Morozov is Houston, in fact. Well, he'll be saying he was on his feet.
Unlucky there.
The Russians will be saying that his chest on his shoulder, taking all the weight.
It was unlucky not to.
You know how sneaky these loose forwards can be, Race.
there.
Here's the opening points of game number 2. Courtesy of a penalty from Rummel Gesson. And Russia lead 3-0 after 2 minutes in game 2 of the Cup of Nations. Second game coming out of Hong Kong this evening. Joined in the commentary position by Ray Asara. Expert comments from a man that could run fast once upon a time.
It's definitely once upon a time.
Welcome to rugby fans right around the world as Ukam Singh just about leaps on to the restart. It's something we saw him do in Sri Lanka for the Sevens team about 4 weeks ago.
It was unlucky there. It was definitely on. He just needed to tap it back, and it would have been the Hong Kong side. But we are still early on in the game here. There's plenty of that more to come.
So scrum time here, and an important scrum it will be for Russia. Dylan Rogers on the tight head side for Hong Kong, and they've had a real crack at the Russian hooker there, but they've got the ball on the front foot, Russia, and they work the blind side well. General grinding plays. Dorofeev gets it away, and Dorofeev again looking in the middle. He finds Fedotko. Now they go wide. Gayson moves it, gets the ball back. Lost forward though is the call. Good sense of urgency about this Russian team already. Ray Asara.
Absolutely, there is a sense of urgency here with this Russian team. So quick ball from the rucks, just a little bit of an overrun there. He overran that pass that was, if I would say, almost slightly forward, but there's plenty of gas in that back line there, Jed.
Well, they're pretty happy to get it on early. Russia.
Set.
4.5 minutes coming up. 3-0 they lead Hong Kong game 2 of the Cup of Nations. Brought to you by Regal Hotels, and Lamberley goes short side. Hood dishes off to Hartley, and he comes flooding forward. Now Jamie Hood, super experienced halfback from the Hong Kong Football Club, now moves it. Rosley finds Toby Fenn.
Great
My
tackle.
word, what a tackle in the midfield by the Russian defence. That was powerful stuff. No way through there. As Hood now resorts to the right foot. He sends it down, and the Russians from the back mount an attack out wide through the number 11. Zozanov. Still they keep it on the wide side. That's a good effort. First up tackle by Cunningham. Second man play. Lex Kalika latches on to the Russian player like a deadly shadow. Dorofeev there again, and he releases. Finds a hard running Nate. Number 8, Korotov. And a penalty. Not rolling out of the way against Hong Kong. Well, they've been early to establish structure, Razor.
Absolutely.
Very early.
Absolutely. There's a few good run-ups there with some of the bigger Russian boys. Now, what you get from a younger team, I think, is you get a little bit of enthusiasm. These younger boys got a lot of energy about them, Jay. There is, like you said, urgency, and it's good to see them out there. And I think Hong Kong, if they just wrap their arms, there's a lot of shoulders going in there. There's no wrapping of the arms, so they've got to be careful about that during this game.
Well, I'm not surprised. Hong Kong will be wanting to prove to Russia early on that there's a bit of sting about them. So I guess whatever they can get away with early, they'll be calling a bonus, but they're in a great position now. Russia on the 22. Taken well by Korotov. A drive on. Huge frame of a man. And number 5, Evgeny Elgin. He Comes spinning off, and I thought the world was going to stop. Look at the size of him.
Jeez, he's a beast, isn't he? He could be on the cast of Game of Thrones, I think, Jed.
Well, he very well maybe.
He's
If anyone was brave enough to take a head and shoulders of him.
He's definitely a unit.
7 minutes in, 3-0. Russia lead Hong Kong here, game 2. The first real opportunity for this Hong Kong squad to operate together. We've had a program that's been punctuated with lots of sevens tournaments. Hood finds Hartley on the inside channel. They bash it out. Hewson onto Cunningham. Cunningham playing in the position of lock, which is an interesting decision, but he's a hard worker and he's a big tackler. Rosley gets on the right foot, and my word, Matt Rosley can kick a ball. Yu Kam Shing down there to shadow the Russian ball carrier. Woodward turns up as well, the former Hong Kong Sevens captain, and now Russia out to the 15s. They move Hong Kong wide on the defence. And now they keep pushing it wide too, and Russia try to find some space out wide through the open side flanker, Gritsenko. Gritsenko loses it forward, and now Jamie Hood on the attack. Hood into contact on the 10 metre. The pick and go from Dane Jans, the Valley hooker. Hood releases Rosley. Finds Robbie Keith. Robbie Keith playing at fullback. Matt Rosley, South African. He qualified for Hong Kong late last year. Played in his first Asian Rugby Championship in 2017. He'll be taking the kick as well for Hong Kong. 9 minutes in, they've earned a kickable opportunity. Raise it.
Yeah, there's some good interchange of the ball there. Just looking at Hong Kong, they're slowly settling things down and getting themselves back into the game here. And if Rosley can land this penalty, we can wipe the slate clean and start back at 0.
So Matthew Rosley, he does have a tremendous boot. He can knock them over from long distance if he wants to. Rosley's kick. He slammed it hard and straight. 3 points for Hong Kong. And so it's back to even Stevens after nearly 10 minutes in game 2.
That was
the Cup of Nations brought to you by the Regal Hotels. Ray Asara, thoughts and comments?
It wasn't the prettiest kick, Jed, but it's done the job.
It was a Bowden Barrett special, wasn't it?
It definitely
Looked
was.
like a dead duck. As we come back to the halfway, Rummel, the Gayson to restart. And it's a good high restart for Russia. This time taken by Hartley. Hong Kong Scottish centre Lex Kalika into the action. Not worried about trying to form up an angle for an exit play. They look pretty keen to rumble it out. Ross Lee, second man play to Woodward, second grab at the ball. And Max Woodward playing his rugby in Japan, and a high shot. And Ray Asara, they're going to have a crack at the Russians' ball in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks it's a good sign of confidence there from the Hong Kong side, with them not playing with the safe kick.
The IM replay is a second grab there for Max Woodward, and it was just the second tackler coming over and giving a wee clip in the chops.
Just a little bit high there.
I don't think he'd be too worried, Woodward. Good pictures in there, the IM replay from our camera team. Dane Jan's ball in hand. Line out restart on and about the halfway. Hong Kong ball. Lamberley beautifully from the top down to Hood. Kalika like an absolute freight train. Hood unloads. What a great ball from Jamie Hood. Toby Fair now. Hood goes wide, finds Cunningham. Cunningham takes 2 of them with him. Jamie Hood forced the cover off the ball. Woodward arrives. And a second penalty to Russia. As Russia managed to keep Hong Kong covered. Looks like the tempo and the sequence, they might have just about had them on the back foot there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little bit unlucky for Hong Kong there. Geez, that run from Lex. He's a big, strong, bustling man. I wouldn't want to be in front of him, and he's pretty good out there to set a platform for the forwards and for the backs to run out. And
so Kam Shing ball in hand now after the take by Robbie Keefe. Out in front of the sticks. Hood looks, finds Rossley, and they do keep to this policy of taking the ball to them. Keith taken out wide. Got the numbers over the ball though. Hong Kong just happy to keep the ball. They're almost keen to starve Hong Kong of Russia of possession here. Makes a lot of sense. And referee not moving away from the tackle area. There's the call. It's
a good sign of confidence there from Hong Kong. Not willing to kick the ball out from their 22 in the red zone there, and looking for opportunities out wide. It's going to make for an interesting game.
So Rosley kicks and play resumes up around the halfway via line out. Rosley, another member of the Valley Rugby Football Club. 7 of them represented here tonight in the Hong Kong team. That's Rosley, puts away Hartley, and Hartley's dangerous on those inside gaps. We've seen him run that line for Hong Kong Scottish. Hood tries to move it quickly, and they do, but it's just out the stretched hand, just past the outstretched hand of Robbie Keefe.
It was the right idea. They had the moves there, they had the players, they had almost had the numbers there. I think it might have been a little bit shallow on this side here, Jed. But just those last couple of handing movements let them down.
Well, we saw an absolute horror gallery from Chile in the last match. The handling errors for Chile possibly not acceptable for the coaching team. So that'll be something for them to be working on. And there's been a little bit of early nerves, I think, shown by all teams so far in the Cup of Nations. Everyone focused on the importance of improving their world ranking through these games. As Dorofeev now, they go into the midfield. Dorofeev doubles round. Gayson finds the fullback. Ryabov taken into touch. Good defence by Hong Kong.
Great defence. It was looking on set here. It looked pretty easy to defend. If I was to say, it was a lot of drift balls and a lot of decoy runners, but no one was holding anyone up, if I could say that. And it was interesting to see it got to the winger, which was the main thing.
Dane Jans goes wide down the back, but it's picked off by Russia. Hong Kong hammer into the breakdown. But still, Russian ball. Nick Hewson niggling away in there as he usually does. On the short side now, it's not a bad looking working group set up by Russia. Well, there's one team in the competition that won't mind doing the hard work. It's this team. They keep going. Russia just with the short targets. Now they break away. Gayson into the midfield. They go even wider now. Good tackle by Kam Shing. Hong Kong managed to stop the forward momentum. Still a Russian ball, and into the midfield they go. Selesky. The Russian hooker goes to ground. Gayson goes wide again. Out towards the far side of the ground. Good continuity. They're building up a long sequence of play here. Russia, they've putting some real phases together, and here they come. Gayson again. Second man play looked almost on to put Sozanov away, but into the midfield. Tackled by Lamberley. Fenn trying to struggle for the ball. Good structure on the ground, Russia. Now they go wide. Bundled into touch. It's a good tackle by Connell Hartley.
Great tackle out there wide.
Outstanding defence by Hong Kong because it was class attack from Russia.
Absolutely. The good thing that Russia are doing here is just spraying the ball out wide. And the forwards are actually not overcommitting to the rucks and maws. But it's also equally matched by the defence here from Hong Kong. So it's been great defensive levels here.
Rosley glances off the hooker,
He's done well.
Zaleski, and he's taken some yards out of them at the same time. Hood looks short side, finds Dane Jans. Jans is like a human tornado when he gets into the short stuff. Let's see the kick from Jamie Hood. It's a box kick, and the touch on the full. He'll be disappointed. He's a man who set some high standards for himself, Jamie Hood.
You want to be happy with that, and they're actually doing quite well. The Roslin got he managed to get himself out of a bit of a sharp tackle there.
So a nice crowd built up on the far side to watch the international rugby here in town. Don't forget the next match, or the next set of games, the 14th of November, coming from Kings Park. A little tap down, and Gayson now with the ball. As they look, it's stripped by Rosley, and it's lost forward. And it will be a turnover. So some good work from Matt Rosley as he got in there and he put the arm and ripped the ball out.
Whoever said first fives weren't physical, Jed? That was a great little strip there from Rosley. Something that they needed. Now they're in a great attacking position here, 50-50. I would look to... they might go to big...
At about 6'2" and probably 100+ kilos, Matt Rosley potentially has the ability to be quite physical.
You'd hope so.
Crouch. Line. Set.
There's the drop in and tap and go. Oh, Thomas. The Frenchman, he'll be willing to take an inch. If half an inch is given, he'll be willing to take a mile if the full inch is granted. They're very, very sneaky.
Crouch.
Coming up to the 20-minute mark, game 2. It's
Wide.
3-3, Hong Kong and Russia.
Set.
Here's the drop. As Hood goes in. Lamberley finds Hood. They go wide again. Woodward. Keith. Ukam Shing. Oh, he was just about away. Lobs it back on the inside, and it's picked up by Gratsenko. And Doriev. Dorofiev. Again, this nippy little Russian halfback is there in the flash of an eye. Look at him. He even got that one away under pressure. Great ball from Gateson. They found some space and they're drilling the outside channel through Golosnitsky onto the 15-metre. Dorofiev. The big tight head prop now. Bitiev.
Release red.
Still they challenge forward now. A little lob back on the inside, and that's the kind of trickery that a lot of defences hate. Dorofiev, they're running it now. Good, strong, hungry defence from Hong Kong as Dane Jans gets himself in a terrible position from the tackle. He left his feet early to execute a tackle, and he put himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. As the referee calls out Nick Hewson, the captain. And
some great patience shown here from the Russian team, allowing themselves to get the ball out wide, like you said. The halfback there just throwing a little bit of trickery, something that obviously Hong Kong wouldn't want to be expecting. But it's also, again, equally matched with some strong defense there, Jed. A few shoulders coming through. If they could wrap their arms, stop them in their tracks, might prove a little bit more value.
Well, an interesting decision by Russia to take Hong Kong down and start putting some pressure on them. They might be looking for a few cracks in them if they can find them, or maybe they sense an opportunity to breach the Hong Kong defence. It's overthrown to the back. That's a bad mistake. Does it come back to Russia? Well, there's a bit of luck for them. Dorofiev. Dorofiev again. He's marshalling them well, but that's great work. That is great work by Hong Kong.
Found himself isolated there. None of the forwards went in to help him out, and as you can see there, decided to hang on the ball and wouldn't release. You need to release, Jed. at some
Release is
point.
important, particularly in a
Definitely
game of rugby.
Releasing every now and then is a good thing.
Sometimes you've got to hold your release, wait for your support.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to just let it out, right?
Well, you could end up making a mess of things.
Absolutely right. Too right.
Dane Jan's ball in hand now. Well, great stuff by the Russian forward pack. Dorofiev puts his head down and goes into the dark stuff. Not a nice place for a halfback to be, but he goes there anyway.
Stay back! Stay back!
Keep working away, and they just start grinding, and then short visit down to the 22, repelled by Hong Kong.
Go back.
That would be a bit of a sting to Russia as Dorofiev now. Johnson's a big runner, and the number 8, Korotov. Out down the far wing through 11. So Zonov, Gayson now gets the big lock forward for Doko. Dorofiev finds that massive Evgeny Elgin. Here's a chip from Gayson, a nice little touch. It's beautifully taken by Woodward. He's got some players around them. Hong Kong have mustered well. And again,
You said!
they've fought off a big advance from this Russian side as Hood finally gets it away to Rosley. Rosley finds a final angle. That's some tidy work by the Hong Kong fly half.
Under pressure, he did well to clear that out of his 22. Just, I mean, again, as they say, defense wins games. And if you're needing to chip over the top there, you know that the defense is doing well. So Hong Kong is definitely holding up.
Selsky taken at the back for Russia. Over the top of it.
Stay back.
Krotov
Back.
takes it forward a couple of metres.
Stay back.
Now Dorofiev back to his feet, the number 9. As it still continues to happen in front of him. Now the halfback slots in. Bitiev or Bitiev. Now they break out wide on the far side. Hong Kong defence, Woodward there, makes a good tackle. It's a strong midfield pairing for Hong Kong with Kalika and Woodward. Now the ball goes to the ground and Hong Kong look to swoop. Great work by Cunningham. He comes through with some urgency. Driving Russia back. Russia's only option now to punch the line with a chip kick, Robbie Keith. Did it come off the shin? No, it came off the hand. A disappointing result for Hong Kong. They seem to be just about redlining it to keep this Russian pack away.
Absolutely. It's only going to take a matter of time. If you look at the replay there,
The IM replay, I might add.
it's only going to take a matter of time for the Russian boys to break through that defense. Bit of, unfortunately, they caused a little mistake there.
We've already seen Russia string together probably one sequence of a dozen plays or more. And they're obviously playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. They've achieved some good continuity early on. If they decide or get the opportunity
Crouch.
to set something similar up inside the red zone, it could be trouble for Hong Kong.
There's definitely a lot of confidence here in this Russian team, and now they're in the go zone, the green zone for them. Let's see what they can make of it.
Dorofiev, Gayson looks back on the inside and finds Davidov. They keep it, but it's turned over, and Lamberley pushes it wide for Woodward. Look at the strength of Max Woodward. sensational having him back from Japan. As Kalika now, the Hong Kong Scottish midfielder, comes thundering in.
You said.
Shot from the side there from the Russians, and just to remind you that they're still on the park, and the exit play doesn't quite work out, but the first pass from the Russians goes to the ground, and now there's Davidov, who comes striding away and almost covers 20 metres.
Great kick
Far
return.
side they are, there's Elgin again, Fedotko. Dorofeev, Gayson. They push wide.
Great defence there from Lex.
11. Sozanov, he's been on both sides of the park so far, the winger. Into contact again by Taev. 15 into the line. Ryabov. Keep punching away, and Fedotko gets himself into the action again. Here's Baitiev. Ball is there. They're just loading up the phases. Dan Barlow gets himself back on side. Breathing heavily though, the big Tigers prop. Rafiev, short side nip again, and looks like Gayson was almost got himself through. Second runner. Rafiev, look at them just racking up the phases. This is Russia. Just constant pressure, and finally
In trouble
the
here.
referee has decided it's not working. Now, is there going to be a card here, Ray?
By the looks of it, you can tell by the way he just held that play up there, and
1, 2, 3,
he's definitely going to have a chat to
discipline
someone.
here.
There you go.
Dane Jans, the Hong Kong hooker, is shown the yellow card, and that's the first yellow card of the tournament as Jans makes his way from the field. And around the 30-minute mark. And this gives Rimmel Gayson an opportunity to put Hong Kong forward by another 3 points. Currently 3-3, and has been for about the last 15 minutes.
There's definitely a lot of attack coming from the Russian team, and I think they're just slowly chipping away at the Hong Kong line there, and hoping that it's going to break. But they are, Hong Kong, must give it to them, they are doing well to hold up their end.
So 30 minutes clicks over as Rimmel Gayson from literally in front of the posts. That's his kick. Kick is good for Gayson, and Russia increased their lead 6 points to 3 with less than 10 minutes remaining in the first half of Game 2 of the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations for 2017. Big Dan Barlow, he's been asked to do some work tonight. They've had to cover some yards, the tight 5 for Hong Kong. As they come back, and Jamie Hood prepares to restart for Hong Kong, and away he goes, and they take it short to the commentary side of the field, secured by Russia. Dorofeev, ball away to the number 8, Krotov. Gayson puts it on the foot. Down to Rosley. Matt Rosley looks upfield. That's probably the benefit of having a man his size take the ball. There's going to be some security about the contact. Hood fires it wide. Keith lets Fenn go. Now Lamberley into the action. As Hong Kong swing into the Russian half. See what they can build up in terms of phases. Loose pass from Cunningham sends Hong Kong almost back to where they came from. Now they'll have to build it up all over again.
Rosalie did well to get back there and secure that ball, and
Jamie Hood sends it down range. And Gayson from the back now takes a look at the corner. And here come those tactics everyone was frightened about or everyone was talking about. Into the corner go Hong Kong, but Robbie Keefe gets back. And he's done well. He's done well, Robbie Keefe, with absolutely no angle. That's a good result.
That's a great kick. He had nothing to work with there. Probably 2 meters in from the sideline. And he's managed to get about 50 meters.
So line out restart for Russia. Selski taken well in the middle. Turned over though. Rogers lays the ball back and it's towed forward by a Russian player. Untidy phase for everybody involved, really. I don't think anybody will be putting their hand up and say that went well for me. 7 minutes remaining in this first half. Raise it. Hong Kong really need to launch it, and they need to launch it right now.
Absolutely, they've been defending for most of this half. Yet it's pretty hard to try and launch something. So hopefully they can make something of us now. But it's been on the defense of the last 25 minutes, I should say. Some tired-looking boys out there.
So, a few calls gone down, a few nods, a few winks. Ben Roberts from the Hong Kong Cricket Club comes in to take over at hooker. Now that Dane Jans is on the naughty chair and Hicks Kalika slots in on the blind side to make a full 8-pack. So, and they drop. Rogers looks steady at the tight head prop. It's good scrumming from Dylan Rogers. Hood. Yu Kam Shing into the line out. Into the line. And what a run from Yu Kam Shing. Hood lots forward by Rosley. And now the counter attack from Russia. This could be dangerous as they shoot it downfield. And Robbie Keith's got to cover a lot of ground. The ball bounces awfully for him. He stands up, Zozanov. And now he launches a counter attack himself. Keith finds Rogers. Rosley into the contact. Ben Roberts cleans that out and they move it wide. That's off the feet. Adrian Griffiths covers the ball off, and Hong Kong, it's gone behind them. You could say it looks untidy. Some would say it looks terrible. Hong Kong, though, have still got the ball. That's the thing that counts. Rosley finds Woodswood working with Hartley in tandem. Take it into contact. The ball is there, and a little bit of sanity starts to prevail in proceedings now for Hong Kong as they still punch it up as time ticks off the yellow card for Hong Kong. They don't want to concede any points. That's a big kick from Jamie Hood, well chased by Connor Hartley, and now the Russians look at this great ball movement from Russia, swinging it from one side to the other, and now waiting for it was Krotov, the Russian number 8. Gritsenko, 7. Dorofeev, Gayson, into Fedotko. Dorofeev, Gayson again, these two working well together. They go wide. Russia taken down ultimately.
Looking dangerous out wide here, Jed.
They are indeed. In fact, Dorofeev pushes it wide and it bounces into the hands of Davidov. And they've taken the penalty, a long advantage play from our referee. And they go back, and this could be another shot on goal for Ramil Gayson. Or maybe in the IM replay as we take a look. Davidov, he tries on Lex Kalika. Barlow comes across and absolutely wallops him. But this isn't the penalising or the play that was penalised.
Here's a little bit of confidence there. They've gone for the line there, Jed, just
Well,
before half-time. What does that say?
Can we say we're surprised about that?
I'm definitely not surprised about that, but I can say that the Russian boys are definitely putting on the pace. They're putting on the pressure here before half-time. I think they're looking for the try. They've got that try line fever.
Well, it's interesting to know exactly how much of this Hong Kong can absorb with only 14 men and what it might mean at the back end of the game. When you'd expect perhaps the Hong Kong conditioning to kick into gear. But they've lost a lot of gas in the last 10 minutes. And this Russian machine just keeps hammering away at the Hong Kong line. They've only got a few minutes to hang on. Can they get to the halftime whistle? As Russia now, they lock it down beautifully.
Here comes the drive.
There's the ball here. It's nice and safe with Temnov, and now they roll it forward, and it looks like a fait accompli. It's down for Russia. The arm is up for Russia, and Russia score. Well, it's a thing of beauty for me, Ray Asara. It might be an eyesore for you.
It definitely is an eyesore for me, but hey, a try is a try. That was a beautiful, well-worked move from the forwards, getting that ball back into that rolling mark, and they've been able to
The
score.
iron replay, good shots on the iron replay, and as you can see, the ball was transferred back very smartly to Temnov. And Temnov, they just kept locking it away. There was no way that Hong Kong could come through there and get anywhere near the ball. And that is a good try, a good forward effort by Russia. Well organised, well taken. They rolled the dice, 14 v 15. As Gayson prepares to convert number 6, Temyev's try, or Temnov. Gayson adds the points, and important points they are as well. A nice shot at goal by Ramil Gayson, and Russia assert themselves further in this match over Hong Kong. As Cunningham and Barlow make their way back to the halfway for the restart. It's Jamie Hood, and Hong Kong have to go back to the drawing board. They've got to find some points out of this half. It's an absolute must as Dane Jans returns and Hong Kong go back to a full 15.
They're needing to score the next try here coming into the second half.
Well, it's an old adage, isn't it? The importance of scoring both before and after the half. And what an exit play for Russia. It didn't go out, but it's created a great time for the chase as Robbie Keefe. Oh, what a ball, and he finds Rosley. Rosley thunders forward, and now Hong Kong stride into the action. Hood goes astray, but Robbie Keefe keeps it going. Lumberley unloads to Woodward. Woodward onto the ground. Where's the breach going to come from for Hong Kong? Barlow met fiercely by the opposite number, Morozov.
Met a brick wall there.
Short side they dart now. Skip pass from Hartley and into touch go Hong Kong. And that is some good, strong, well-organised Russian defence.
Hong Kong are needing to... There might be a little bit of miscommunication there. Once they have the ball, there is a little bit of shuffling of the ball. They don't get much of the ball, so it's quite important for these guys to keep the ball in hand.
So what will most likely be the final play of the first half. As Russia prepare to feed the scrum on halfway. 13-3 they lead Hong Kong. They might just go to the sideline after this. Have a well-earned rest. It's been a fine effort by this Russian pack in the opening 40.
Absolutely.
Dorofeev, von Zozanov Gayson goes wide. It looks like it floated forward, and it did. It was unfortunate as time off is playing for the first 40 minutes. And that indeed is the end of the first half in the second game of the Cup of Nations. It is Russia leading Hong Kong 13 points to 3 here at Kings Park in Kowloon. Ray Asara, your immediate thoughts?
My immediate thoughts right at this moment is that Hong Kong cannot win this game without the ball. And the time that they do have the ball, they're struggling to hold on to it. I think Russia, there's a lot of the young players coming through, a lot of confidence, there's a lot of enthusiasm, so they're willing to chuck the ball around and give that Hong Kong line a crack. So it's definitely important for Hong Kong to get the ball into their hands and try and make something of it.
So at half-time, Hong Kong trail Russia 3 points to 13, or should I say 13-3. Russia lead Hong Kong in the Regal Hotels Cup of Nations for 2017. It's been a strong first 40 performance by the visitors. And Hong Kong, although they've been struggling at times, have proven to be pretty formidable. Crowd make their way off now for some well-deserved pastries. Here's a splattering of, well, there's the main man himself, Dino Hurowini, when he's not in the gymnasium.
Getting a little bit of a
part-time
groove on.
go-go dancer.
He's getting a little bit of a groove on there.
Yeah, well,
enjoying the music.
That's just the way things are done at Hatapu.
Good little crowd building up here, Jed, for the Hong Kong-Russia game.
Dino will be enjoying that after a heavy weekend in Koh Samui last weekend. Had to do the haka twice in one go, so that's enough to break a sweat.
It's definitely a big effort.
As the Russians getting a, well, I mean, it's a loose collection of individuals down there at the moment, right?
Absolutely. Hey, you got to get that chest pump on. And
welcome to Jack Nielsen, double code operator.
Big Jack, heavy puncher Jack. It's good to see him.
And a lovely comment also from James Cook. I didn't know he was still alive.
Oh, he just got Jedi there. No one. What about the co-commentator? Thanks, James.
So they've been good, though. Let's be honest. This Russian team, they've been accurate, they've been on the ball, and they haven't been together very long, but they've put a very, very good bit of form together in the first 40.
Yeah, absolutely. What I like to see is that they're willing to push the ball out wide, move it to the wingers, and try and make something happen of it, try and get through that Hong Kong defense line. Hong Kong are matching them with their defense, so they're doing quite well there, but we've all played rugby before. We all get tired on defense, so at some point they're going to get
Look at the recovery technique on this one. That is absolutely sensational.
That's what you call ice on the head.
Leaning back with ice on your head.
Bit of elevation of the legs there.
And the crowd's absolutely intense now as they head off towards the pie shop. Not one person has come by me to ask me if I'd like one, so good images of Kings Park in full buzz here in Hong Kong. And even the high shot. And Kings Park, the home to both the Kowloon and USRC rugby football clubs. And on Sunday mornings, you can see hundreds, if not thousands, of children running around, much to the appearance glee at mini rugby. It's a sight to behold. Kings Park, the epicentre of Hong Kong domestic rugby, is the.
I have seen a.
Look at the passion coming out of the Russian coach.
What do you think he's saying there? Get the ball out wide.
Well, maybe he's saying, I think I can fly.
Those hand gestures, absolutely.
Yes, Ruth Mitchell, I'm sure someone would love to get me a pie.
It's a relaxed-looking Russian team there, Jed. Chilling out before the second half.
Time now for the IM action replay package from the first half. As we watch Russia, they've been stringing many phases together across the end. Here was the opening penalty as Nick Hewson in his 50th test match, pinged by the referee. Here's the ensuing play from later on. And this is the action that led to another penalty to help Russia get out to 6 points to 3. And now here's the try. It's great action on the IM replay. Fedotov goes back to Tembenev. Now they just sneak it up. Great transfer from Russia, and as a forwards coach, you'd be looking at that very, very happy indeed. And that's the wrap up of the action in the first half, courtesy of the IM replay.
Like my friend Amo said, that's a great forwards try. Nothing cleaner than that. For a back, it is a little bit ugly, but...
Well, you know, if you don't understand it, Ray, it would look ugly. But there was a lot going on there. There's a lot going on.
There's absolutely...
There's a lot of soft hands. There's a lot of finesse happening.
Oh, finesse and forwards. I'm not sure if I'll put those words in the same sentence.
Be very, very careful what you're saying, where you say it from. That's not the official clock, ladies and gentlemen. And no one's actually too sure if that's ever been correct. And on this occasion. As we look inside the VIP box, we see Craig McKenzie, the club convener for the Valley Rugby Club, practicing his Russian. As we know, recently married to his beautiful Russian bride, a very attractive blonde lady holding on to the Russian flag. And Lena there should be quite happy to have someone to talk sense to, because anybody that knows her husband realises that's a bit like pushing things uphill. So it's all go in the, it is the VIP area, but here with me in the VVIP area, Ray Asara, and the second half. Razor, what can we expect, you think, from, first of all, the visiting team, Russia?
The visiting team, I think they'll be looking to make a break, get through that pierce, that defense of Hong Kong. They are doing all the little things correct. They're getting the ball out to the wingers, but it's all a matter of drawing those players in to create that overlap out on the outside. In terms of Hong Kong, they need more ball in hand. At the moment, they've got the ball that they do have. They're chucking it away. So hopefully coming through to this half, Hong Kong will get the ball and hopefully execute some well-deserved tries.
Well, the crowd are enjoying themselves here at Kings Park this evening, and well in mind, it's sensational weather, and when the weather's like this in Hong Kong, the place moves into its own category. A lively, vibrant, action-packed city, a city that never sleeps, basically. And evenings like this are an absolute treat as the Russians come together and they've played some good, enterprising play. They've been organised. I'll agree with what you say. Hong Kong perhaps not representing themselves as well as they might. They have some very good players.
Absolutely. They've got some great gun players there. As you said, you got the Rosalie playing at first five there, and he's a big part of that team. You've got Keith at the back. He's doing some good things, and also Big Dan Barlow, coming through, and they just need to put things together to make sure it happens and make sure they get over to the green zone and score a try.
As they return now in the start for the second half of this Game 2, Cup of Nations 2017. Live pictures coming to you from Hong Kong, beaming out wide around the world as we go out on Facebook Live, rugbypass.com as well, YouTube as well, I believe. And pitching out Thomas Lumberley, Curial number 8 from Valley.
You've got to love
Vladimir Rudenko, hard running midfielder. There's Dan Barlow from the USRC Tigers. Great opportunity for him to put himself forward. He's a great running prop when he gets the ball in hand.
He definitely is a great running prop, and he comes from a great club, Tigers. I'm a little bit biased, I put it up there, but he's done well to get himself into the Hong Kong team, and it's good to see him out there with the rest of the Hong Kong lads out there.
So we're preparing now for a start in this second half action. Jamie Hood recently returned from Japan after a stint playing over there for the Black Rams. As they get ready to blow time on, and it is the second 40 of the second test. Game 2 of 6 in the Cup of Nations, and Jamie Hood gets play underway, and they take it deep down into the Russian territory. And Toby Fenn's up there in a flash to shut them down. Good to box the Russians into their own 22. That's good play from Hong Kong, but Russia clench the fist and start bashing their way back out again. Dorofeev, good release, and the exit plays, well, it's well managed. That's some very, very tidy play from Russia.
Great start there from Russia to get the ball out there. Very interesting, they've just started to play that safety game for the first hit up of the game, so it'll be interesting to see how they go. So Hong Kong off the ball there.
Well taken by Hong Kong. Rosley takes the ball, misses the runner, and Kalika, and has to go into the action himself. Now Hood releases, finds Jans. Good work there from Houston to go with his teammate from Valley, and now Woodward pushes it wide. Hartley into the action. Not where we expect to see him. He's a great second man play runner. They'll need to try and get Connor Hartley into the play a lot more if they want to see some big yards out of him. Now Hood. Rosley goes wide. Kalika. He takes the ball. Keith. Lamberley. Great tackle out wide. Oh, that's powerful stuff from the Russian defence. No hiding from that for Thomas Lamberley. Jans into the action, and he grinds his way over the gain line. Comes back for Hood. Hood takes a dart. Numbers are there for Hong Kong. Now they go. Cunningham tries to get outside for Dotko. Can't. Hood shows it. Lets Jans float through. Woodward over the top of it. They've still got it, Hong Kong, but they need to desperately get it forward. Houston unloads to Dylan Rogers. Houston again now. He floats it out. Yu Kam Shing. Something out of nothing. Is that what they're going to go for, Hong Kong? They go wide to Toby Fenn.
There we go.
Fenn sent to Lamberley. Lamberley tries to loosen the arm up, and he can't get it through. It bounces back for Russia. Russia now from inside their own half. Suzanov still going with the ball. Look at him. Never say die kind of runner. They break. Gayson's kick down into the corner. Sensational. Oh, what a chase. It's still alive. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Oh, I word that rugby ball can do some dirty things.
Balls are dirty, but just looking at that, the bounce of the ball there was not good. So it was unlucky that he didn't get the bounce there.
As we take a look on the IM replay, Dorofeev now, he finds Gayson's spotted the space behind the Hong Kong defence line beautifully. That's pitched horribly for Robbie Keith. He's been done. He's been done about 20 ways there, and I kind of wonder what went wrong with that.
That actually, watching that replay there, actually looked like that was a try for all money.
Well, I'm not sure whether they'll be talking about that one for years, but it might generate about 15 minutes later on tonight. So, an all-important defensive scrum for Hong Kong here. So they drop in and lock it up, and maybe just a little bit of hustling from Hong Kong there as they pretty sure they're trying to pick Russia's pockets here up front.
Support the body weight.
Put the penalty out of them. They know that Russia will be aggressive at the set piece.
Crouch! Boy!
Barley
Set.
Locks it up with Baitev. And they wheel them back, but Jamie Hood's on hand to get the ball down range, and he does well. It's a good exit play.
That's a great clearance. That's a great clearance. He had nothing to work with there, Jed, and he managed to actually, on the back foot, get that at least 45 metres.
Well, he's been a quality player for not only football club, the Hong Kong Sevens team for many, many seasons, Jamie Hood. And while it may be all sort of potentially coming to an end as an international, no denying,
As the
fills the picture up big time for Hong Kong. It's Russia off the top now. Gayson, second man play. They get the wide channel. I thought if they'd gone one more, they could have really put some pressure on. Hong Kong defence, though, not releasing. And this might be a dot at the post. Well, they might be keen to go to the corner, Ray.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they do here, and I think it would be, yep, they're going for the line, their confidence. Obviously what's said in halftime is that the confidence is there. They don't want to take penalties. They want to go over their white chalk.
Well, Ramil Gayson has put Russia right down on the spot with that kick. That is an absolute screamer.
You talk about Hood's kick, but this one here has gone.
Couldn't have rinsed
bang
any more
on the
out of
money.
that if he possibly tried.
Absolutely.
Heavens above. Now Russia. Hard on attack, but it's gone wrong for everybody, and it's almost a litany of errors before it comes back to Hong Kong. And I mean, back to Russia. Russia now, ball in hand. Dorofeev. He finds Vitsenko, and now they bring it back the other way. And Gayson, have they got the pocket out wide thereafter? They can't, though. It's well covered off. Rosley. Great tackle from Matt Rosley. That's defence. Now Hong Kong kick the tackling into gear, but Russia threatening away.
Looking dangerous here.
Morozov, pick and go from the loose head prop. Grueling stuff up front. Russia really throwing down the glove here. They're punching away at the line. Lost forward might have been the cause, and the turnover it is to Hong Kong. Well, it's hard to know. Hard to know whether it's prolonging the misery or you'll take it any way you can get it, Ray.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take it anyway. You're definitely the Hong Kong, especially the forward pack, are doing well to stop those big barrages of attacks. They're doing quite well here. If they can just play the safety game here, get them out of the red zone, and just apply more pressure. Russia are highly confident. They've got their backs up. They are looking for that try. You've got players like Hood there.
All important defensive scrum for Russia now. Some moves towards the 50-minute mark.
Crouch.
Quickly approach the final half hour of the game.
Set.
I think 50 minutes of this game is rocketed by, to be fair. Hood feeds, and look at the heat coming off from Russia. And, well, Hong Kong might have taken a defensive penalty there, but I think Russia have pretty much let everyone know that when they put the foot down, you're going to cop it.
Absolutely. The Hong Kong side, they'll be happy to get out of the situation. But as they say, it's all good in the hood. Not the best kick there from Rosie, if I would say.
Well, it's a big scrum from Russia. And that sort of play is the kind of play that gets inside the heads of the opposition, particularly the front three, as Andrew Hall presses the button and fires his subs into the action. Jans goes long and he finds Sullivan. First touch of the ball from the youngster. Hartley, this is where he runs and he dominates well. He takes that inside channel for the Scottish side that he plays club rugby for, and he does it well. And this time he does again for Hong Kong. And look at that kick from Matt Rosley.
Great nudge.
The reply from Russia, straight down the throat of Robbie Keith, and now it's Jamie Hood. He tries to start it off. Can they spark? Some attack themselves. Woodward goes into action. Wider out towards the far side of the ground. Jans finds Keith, and they go wide. There's Boko, Kane Boko. Looks like it came loose and forward, but no call from the referee. And Hong Kong get a little bit of luck. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of luck. Now Rosley tries to put them down in the corner. Oh, a terrible bounce for Russia down in the corner, and the call might have been forward, but it doesn't matter. They try and run it out through Davidov. He gets it up towards the 22. They'll be looking for an exit from Gayson, and he goes to the preferred right foot. And might send a wee message as well to the Hong Kong attackers that pressuring him onto the left foot could be a good option.
Both teams there look like they got away and got a little bit lucky there with the two forward passes coming through. Hong Kong look dangerous with the ball in hand. That's all they need. Once they get the ball in hand, string together a few strike moves, they'll easily get into their half.
Checking in for Russia at number 18, Vladimir Berezov. So 3 changes made early in the half by Hong Kong, taken down well again by Kane Boko at 20, and Rosley goes wide, and Robbie Keith's picked off, and a great tackle by number 13, Golosnitsky.
You picked that one off great, but it was a little bit offside.
The line out, outside.
It was lucky not to get the big, the big bumper. Got the old tackle around the ankles. Safety first.
Outside. On the line
Heaven
out.
forbid the big bumper should come out.
Yeah, from
They
the
don't
line
want
out.
that, yeah.
No team.
Penalty shot for Hong Kong. And one would think for Matt Rosley, this is very, very doable. And for Hong Kong's ambitions, this is very, very necessary.
He needs to nail this just to get a little bit of confidence back into the Hong Kong team.
Batting 1 for 1 at the moment, Matt Rosley. Well, he's close enough to kick this one to the stars. There's Rosley's attempt. Right down the guts, ladies and gentlemen. Right in front of the VIP area, and Hong Kong stay in contact, 13 points to 6. It's a 7-point lead for Russia as we start closing in inside the final 30 minutes of the game. Hong Kong will be happy just to kick them to death.
Absolutely. A win's a win, is what they say. And if they can get a lot more penalties, if they can't get through the line, they can't hold onto the ball. If they can get more penalties, that would be a great thing for the boys.
Rummel Gayson gets the restart underway, and it goes down. It's missed by Sullivan, and it's picked up by Russia, and it's not the kind of restart Hong Kong are after. Dorofeev, I should say. Now they go short side. Gayson hit 15. Ryabov. Good strong tackle by Nick Hewson. Really throwing his body at it. Look at Russia just keen to hammer the blind side, but Hong Kong have knocked it loose and they've turned it over. And it'll be a scrum restart. Hong Kong feed. Well, got themselves out of a bit of trouble there.
Absolutely did. It's not what you want to do after scoring that. The three-pointer is going back and making that mistake, but They managed to get themselves out here and need to come up with an exit play. There is still plenty of time on the clock here, Jed. So hopefully they can make something of it.
That will be the hope. Don't forget the next round of games coming on November 14th back here at Kings Park. Kick off 5 p.m. Hong Kong time, and then the tournament ends on the 18th at the Hong Kong Football Club. Earlier games scheduled for kick-off as it comes back to Hood. And a penalty for Hong Kong. It's a good scrum by Hong Kong on that occasion. Jamie Hood issuing the congratulations. Lex Kalika knows how important it was as well. Absolutely imperative that Hong Kong gain some form of parity with Russia up front if they're to give themselves a shot of running down the visitors, who currently lead 13 points to 6. Coming up to the 55th minute. Dane Jans, and he finds 19, Kyle Sullivan. Hood, short ball, Kalika. Good heavens above. That is the bumper right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now Rosley gets on the go forward. Rosley floods forward. Woodward cleans it out, and Hong Kong. Look at the red shirt starting to fizz now. Out wide, Rosley forces the ball. Robbie Keith, Yu Kam Shing into the action, and he takes 2 on a big hit. Ball gets lost forward. The referee brings them back for a scrum restart. My word. Let's go to the IM replay for this, because this one is an absolute beauty.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hood picks up Kalika, and Kalika, well, I'm surprised no one lost a body part there.
Jeepers creepers. I wouldn't want to be either one of those guys.
Supervision on the IM replay, brought to you by the camera team. Terrific work.
You did well to stop him.
That was, well, he was very close to having to send an apology to Jason's mother, Lex Kalika. Russian Rugby Union, sorry to inform you, but your son's been run over by a Fijian. Now, Russia, push it wide. Good expansive play by Russia. Dorofeev. Good play, and again, look at them punch the line. They've showing a lot of confidence to take the ball close to the gain line. Gason again turns Hong Kong around and picks off the corner, and he rolls it at the corner, and he rolls it at the corner. Oh, that's a... Well, a little bit of skullduggery in the corner, but...
A little bit of argy-bargy there.
There was only about 50 centimetres of that being a good kick or a great kick, to be honest. Hong Kong, they play away with it. It is play on, and Hood, they want to spread it. Hong Kong, they want to try and open things up here. Kalika finds Hartley, and Hartley almost at full stride, and he can't keep in. He can't stay in. He's brought down right in front of his bench.
That was crucial. That was crucial. He needed to stay in there, Jed. Like, they had the ball there. They needed to stay in there just to get the ball back and then hopefully get a decent exit play. But again, we're looking at Russian attacking their line on their 22.
Cole Sullivan. Bright star for the Hong Kong national team going forward. Super work by Russia from the line out. That strong, powerful run. Look at that coming in from Rudenko. Vladimir Rudenko, the 12 for Russia. Gee whiz, got some power he showed. And then Gason, he's picking out a runner out wide, and it's floated into touch on the full.
Again, Hong Kong getting out of jail there.
Well, a big 5 for Hong Kong. Could see some momentum shift their way as they try to play with a bit more tempo. And away they go again. Penalties awarded to Hong Kong. Maybe a shift in tempo is what Hong Kong need to try and break it.
I think they need, yeah, absolutely. They need a little bit of the strong runners coming through, get a little bit more physical. But again, you can't win the game playing on their side of the field. They need to get into their end of the field, into the Russia side of the field, set a bit of game plan and string something along to get some points on the board.
Expert observations from Ray Asara as Matthew Rosley for Hong Kong sends them down towards the 22, almost as if you could hear the great words of inspiration.
That's what I'm hoping so. Hopefully they can back this up and get some strike moves going. Quick Bourbon.
Off the back comes a hard running number 7, Grotzinsko. Gayson happy to try and just pummel Hong Kong into the corner again. The ball runs, the ball runs, the ball runs. It's dead. So they'll come all the way back. As onto the pitch, Jack Neville makes his way on there. And for those of you watching Hong Kong for the first time, number 23, Jack Neville is an absolute rock star for Kowloon. When this guy gets going, things really do happen.
Let's hope some of these changes are for the good and starting to change the tempo here.
Change at the back as Robbie Keith comes off. Jack Neville comes on. There's a change up front for Russia. As we come down now to the final quarter of the game. 13-6, game 2. The 2017 Regal Hotels Cup of Nations. You're looking, experiencing, witnessing pitches from Kings Park, Kowloon and Hong Kong. As the play goes forward, Hong Kong, they'll be rowing that. It's an all too rare sojourn into the Russian half. That's not the way you'd want it to end.
Absolutely not. Definitely not what you want to come off and in like that. But yeah, looking here, it's there's a little bit of urgency that's needed here for the Hong Kong team. It's the clock is running out. They need their hands on the pearl here, Jed.
Well, they tuned in from all over the world. Chris Davies coming in from Fiji. Obviously still has access to the military satellites. And Colin Porter, the Pink Panther. And parts unknown as Russia knocked the ball down and Jack Neville gets around it, pushes it down, and they'll go back to the 22 for the restart. Rosley restarts on his own. Quick play from the Valley 10. Look at that, great work from Gayson. What strength, he just about tore the ball off the Hong Kong player. Now Hood. Hood finds Sullivan. They surround it, they've got a good angle if they want to run it. Neville takes it on, Woodward goes even further with it. Back into the action, Hood, this is Hong Kong. It's happy to kind of tick-tock their way out of action. It's a big up and under from Rosley, and he sends it into touch. And he can just about kick the letters off the ball, Matt Rosley. He hits it that hard.
He can boot the ball, but this time he's just pushed it a little bit too wide, and he's standing outside his 22. It's just a little mistakes like that that are really costing Hong Kong this game. If they can execute an exit play, get them into the Russian line, they'll have an opportunity, they'll have a chance. But as you see, Russia back on attack here and looking to add more points on the board.
Russia take it down in the middle. Still they rumble it up. This is great work by the forward pack. 21 in. Yuzinov come in to replace Dorofeev. Kane Boko. His first season with the Hong Kong Sevens national side culminated in a great win in Sri Lanka. Hong Kong claimed a World Cup spot in San Francisco next year. They come out of the Asian region, courtesy of the Asia Rugby 7 Series.
Crouch!
Looks like there's another change in halfback there, Jed.
Kadu Lee making his way into the game for Hong Kong. As they just basically shovel it out to Matt Rosley, and maybe not the tidiest exit from Hong Kong, but they've still got the ball, and that's what counts. Lee, he's a busy little halfback, this guy. He likes to get out there and make things happen as Jack Neville puts it onto the right foot and sends it down the line. Terrific catch by number 11, Suzanov. Hong Kong, but Ray, as you say, they're playing it at the wrong end.
They are definitely playing the wrong end. They are trying to get out of the danger zone here, but Russia are applying the pressure, trying to keep them down there so when they do have their hands on the ball, they can attack. A lot of passionate Russian supporters out here tonight, Jed.
Well, I'm not going to tell them otherwise. Yeah, Uzanov. It's still coming in waves, this Russian outfit. Uzanov, Gayson. Tidy work out there by Sozanov. Uzanov again, Gayson off the shoulder of 12, Rudenko. Turned over, Lee, good ball, and away come Hong Kong. They threaten. What a magnificent tackle. What a magnificent tackle by Golonitsky.
That was a great tackle. That happened right in front of us. I could feel that from here.
So back into the tight exchange they go, Russia. They have the ball almost as soon as Hong Kong gets over the halfway. That's a mistake. Can Hong Kong capitalise? Great work from Lex Kalika. And finally, Rayasara. They've got it in the right part of the park.
This is where they want to be.
On the IM replay, look at that tackle from number 13, Kirill Golonitsky. He's coming there. He's hammered the ball out of the arms of Max Woodward.
This is where they want to be. This is where they want to start executing their strike moves.
Coming into the field of play, number 21, Michael Coverdale. And this guy's an exceptional talent. Already establishing himself as one of the premier forward players in Asian Sevens. Mike Coverdale comes onto the pitch. He's got a tremendous array of skills as Lee. Lee now. Lee to Yukam Ching. What a try, Hong Kong! That's the Tigers connection. Wow. Yukam Ching off the ball from Kadu Lee. And the two local boys kicking into gear for the home side. What an absolute ripper. Well, this is going to be fantastic. I look forward to the replay on this. As Matt Rosley lines up a kick from almost in front. Well, it is in front. And they're celebrating right around the park on that one. Not only the two local players, but they're Tigers players as well. And with this kick, all of a sudden, it's a different look. Matt Rosley hits the two. And this one is turning into what could be a Bobby Dazzler. Kadudi hits the Jets, and who's outside him? Well, the man who's been lining it up for Hong Kong for many, many years. Yu Kam Shing, and he loves it as well. Great vision on the IM replay. Kadu Lee, Yu Kam Shing. Well, that's goosebump stuff. Outstanding work, Hong Kong. somehow claw their way back to 13 all as Lee makes no mistake on the restart. And I told you when he took the field, this is the kind of guy, he makes things happen.
He's absolutely come on and made sure that's happened there, Jed.
His enthusiasm was noted from the first time he played for Hong Kong. He's an irrepressive character on the pitch. Great ball down the line. Now, Russia's return. They move it. Oh, great run from Gayson. Gayson finds Sozanov. Smart work from the winger as he brings it back towards his support. Hong Kong forced to fight. 12 minutes remaining in the game. Midfield set. Gayson goes wide. Ryabov
Great tackle there from Lex.
lays it back. Strong tackling, work from Sutherland. 18 is Podrezov. Gayson. Very, very fortunate to hold on to that ball. Great hands. Uzanov gets it out again to Podrezov. Uzanov again shows it to Gayson, but goes on his own, the halfback. Shot coming over the top by Bucco. I think the referee saw it. Uzanov. The Russians. They'll have to kick it into gear big time. Uzanov. Gayson goes wide. Good D from Hong Kong. Good work from the young Sullivan. And Mike Coverdale. Now they come wide. It's lost forward. And Hong Kong generate an error. Ray Asara, your thoughts?
There's a lot of supporters out there holding their breaths, Jed. They can breathe a sigh of relief.
The IM replay, look at this. At that moment, the hooker, Selski, hasn't made too many mistakes so far this match, but Hong Kong will be delighted that they've been able to create enough defensive pressure inside the final 10 minutes. And as my esteemed co-commentator Ray Asara mentioned, it's about getting to the right end of the park.
Absolutely. I think Russia have spent most of the second half in the Hong Kong 22. And when Hong Kong are in the Russian 22, they do look absolutely dangerous, as you can see. We still have 10 minutes. A lot can happen in 10 minutes, Jed.
Certainly can. No doubt about that. So, Coverdale onto the open side. Toby Fenn off. Does give Hong Kong an extra option at the line out. Toby Fenn, it's a raiding. Tear away loose forward. Kane Bucco, look at the explosiveness from the
Great
reserve
yards.
number 8. Lee. Hewson. Still giving plenty deep in the game. Now Kadu Lee goes wide, or to the back. Neville on the right foot. Great kick from Jack Neville. Sozanov lets the ball settle. And funnily enough, when he looked up and saw Lex Kalika coming his way, the foot came through a lot quicker than the ball.
I would want to get rid of that too as well, and exactly what Hong Kong wanted. Apply the pressure down on their end and hope for a kick that's going to keep them in their range.
Well, Hong Kong, this might be the travel kicking in for the visitors. Terrible miss for Hong Kong as the ball slips through Houston's hands. And Russia get the ball back, but they're in the defensive end of the field. Now, we'll see how desperately the home side want it. As this Russian team, who have been fighting every inch of the way, they've played well. Jans loses the ball forward. 72 minutes gone to the game. Game 2. of the Regal Hotels 2017 Cup of Nations. Game 1 went to Chile 23-3 over Kenya, and the end a dominant display by the South Americans saw them home. Kenya, though, showing glimpses of being extremely deadly ball in hand and break and play. They could absolutely tear the legs off you. Just one of those teams. That was the opening game. This game 2, all tied up inside the final 8 minutes. Uzanov prepares to feed Hong Kong. Hong Kong put the heavy on Russia this time. Fair enough too. Uzanov tries to bring it forward, and it looks like Max Woodward has taken a fairly heavy blow as he crawls out of the contact. Uzanov immediately spots the channel that could be available and punishes Hong Kong by sending the ball down there. It's beautifully picked up by Jamie Hood. That's outstanding play by Jamie Hood. Grabs it in desperation going forward. Lee, Neville, Rossley onto the foot, the up and under. Charging after it is Yu Kam Shing. The eventual mark coming for Russia. Russia must be scratching their heads at the moment.
There's definite level of confidence coming here from Hong Kong. They are looking to run the ball from everywhere, playing that safety game at the same time. I've just got the feeling that they've got a sniff of that try line.
Well, the gaps are there. If Hong Kong can find them, Dane Jans. Down the back they go. Taken well by Boko. Hewson picks it up. Hewson drives forward. Hong Kong there with them. Lee marshalling the troops. Neville puts the up and under in. Kalika. Oh. And impending doom, he manages to sidestep it. Good tackle though. Kane Boko. Now Russia, ball in hand. Top work. A good run by Krotov. Now Gayson again. That accurate boot plugging the corner. He dances with the devil on the sideline. Neville, but he gets away with it. And Jamie Hood puts it on the right foot. It's one of those periods of play. Which team's going to blink first? Russia now, through Krotov. Good, strong challenge by Kalika. He's been hammering them all day. Russia, Uzanov. Gayson, he looks wide. Fedotko. They go wider again. Gayson shows and goes. Great tackle by Lee. Zozanov, he's been outstanding for Russia today. Top tackles. Now they give it. Slow ball though for Russia. Gayson goes wide. What have they got left in defence? Kalika makes a huge hit out wide. No pressure on the ball. Hong Kong happy to fan out. Through 18. Podrezov. Still they work the ball. Russia. This is tremendous play by Russia.
Looking
Look at them
dangerous
put
out
it
left.
together. It's coming. The gaps are there. They've pulled on the faces. Can Hong Kong hold on? Wider goes from Gayson. Zozanov. Tremendous desperation work by Jamie Hood. Hong Kong look almost out on their feet. 4 minutes gone. Is that the error they're looking for? It is. And knock on. And Hong Kong slip off the hook one more time.
It has been this telling of the game. Just the continuous bombarding of attacks there coming from Russia, and Hong Kong just managing to stay clear and hold on to that defense line.
Well, there's a few of the Hong Kong forwards who have gone long and deep into this game. Dylan Rogers is one of them.
There definitely are some tired looking forwards out there.
Nick Hewson's another one. So the final 4 minutes.
This crowd is on their feet, Jed. They're wanting the Hong Kong boys to get up. They want to give their team up.
Feel the atmosphere build for certain. As they see Miller Coverdale Cole Sullivan. Two young guys, Ben Higgins out there. It's all happening for Hong Kong. Chant starts up faintly around the park and it starts to build. Changes are being made. Just as we say about the guys who've gone deep in the match, Dane Jans comes from the field to play, replaced by Ben Roberts. Look at this Russian forward pack. They're G'd up and ready for action as well. 13 all the scores. Game 2. What an absolute ripper. Kaduli. Ball in hand. It's an all-important defensive scrum for Hong Kong. Could they spring a surprise attack?
Anything could happen now, Jed. We've only got 4 more minutes.
Rayasara at the edge of his seat, ladies and gentlemen, as Boko takes the ball and takes a few yards away. It comes loose. Ultimately, it's secured again. Hong Kong, they concede a few metres. Kaduli's exit play kick. Strong leg out. Not a great deal of distance, and so Hong Kong put themselves back on the hook. They're going to have to submit to a few more minutes of some heavy pressure. Can Russia build up the phases to bring themselves home? Boy, gee, they've looked good.
I can see a driving more here, Jed.
Vidotko. But they've broken them all head up. They've done well, Hong Kong, superbly well.
Absolutely.
That's some Craig Hammond coaching there, if ever I've seen it. So, look at the body. It's just carnage up front. Absolutely magnificent. It's a maelstrom of bodies. Now they edge it forward. This is where the heavy hitters come in. Elgin. I don't know if you get much bigger than that, to be fair. Certainly not if they're not Polynesian. Russia. Well, they could be choosing to use blunt force trauma, Russia.
They're about 5 metres from the line. This is looking dangerous.
Uzanov, the drop goal. Gase. Oh, maybe a little bit hurried. Penalty though. They were playing for the advantage, Russia.
Could this be it?
This could be the final throw of the dice. 79 minutes gone. And if it ends on this penalty, there'll be a sudden and deep deflation in the atmosphere. And by word, we've witnessed a good contest here tonight. This has probably lived up to all the billing, as Hong Kong really have pressured Russia straight off the bat.
They've definitely come out a little bit stronger, Hong Kong. They have left it a little bit too late there for their run of the comeback. We'll just have to wait and see and hope that the little gust of wind.
Rayon Lamb, we say hello to you too. Thank you for saying hello. Our audience joining us around the world on Facebook Live. The opportunity to send us some messages as Rummel Jason, the fly half for Russia, sizes up the angle. 80 minutes is ticked over on the clock. Final play of the game. It's through the uprights, pressure penalty, and it's time over. And Russia win it in the clutch by 3 points, 16 points to 13. Russia win the match over Hong Kong. And the faces of the Hong Kong players say it all. They have performed admirably. And for most of the match, we were under the pump. They took a lot of pressure. They took a lot of damage. And incredibly, they were able to turn it around. And I don't think they're ever going to forget that try from Kadu Lee and Yu Kam Shing. That was absolutely magnificent. 13-16, that's the final score. As Hong Kong fall to Russia in game 2. Some sportsmanship being shown by the players. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's check out the highlights as we check out the IM highlights package for the second half. And I might be talking about this play. No one can actually be. Maybe there was a hand there from the running winger, and lost forward was the call. It all happened so quickly, it was hard to see. And we see, look at that. I mean, talk about willingness. Rummel Gayson getting in the way of Lex Kalika. There was shots flying in left, right and centre. That's how willing the action was here in game number 2. So we watch this, and here it comes. Kadu Lee, he beats them all on the outside. And you can't think of a better man to carry it on. What a finish for Hong Kong. What a finish. Yu Kam Shing and Kadu Lee operating together. It is a thing of beauty for Hong Kong. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, now down to the sideline as we watch these pictures of the Russians leaving the field of play through a guard of honour from the Hong Kong side. Tremendous sportsmanship. It's part of the game. It's the values that carries rugby union so highly regarded around the world. 80 minutes of absolute flat-out play. They have bashed each other, these two teams. And the respect is, well, absolutely front and centre. Congratulations, Russia. What an outstanding effort. Hong Kong charged at them with everything they had in that final 20. And in the end, not quite able to run the visitors down. Time out. Here we go. Look at the handshakes going around. They'll be disappointed, the Hong Kong players. Well, let's go down now to Rayasara, who's with the victorious head coach, Alexander Puravikin.
Yeah, I'm here, standing here with the coach of the winning Russian team, and also the translator here to translate the game. I just wanted to say, what was the preparation like coming into today's game?
Какая у нас была подготовка к этой игре?
10-дневная подготовка после матчей Еврокубков, в которых участвовали две основные команды. И, в принципе, часть игроков была отпущена в отпуск, а молодые игроки, в основном молодая команда, сегодня вышла на поле. И я как бы рад, что она сегодня сумела победить.
So we have 10 days of good preparation in camp after European Challenge Camp competition, club competition. We give some rest to our experienced guy and bring here young, exciting teams, and he is really glad with our result.
It was an excellent win, last-minute win. I know there was a younger team there. The enthusiasm was there. Did they execute the plan that you came with today to play against Hong Kong?
Он знает то, что у нас была молодая команда, и очень было хорошо за ней наблюдать. Спрашивает, выполняли ли они ту установку и план на игру, которую вы им дали?
Ну, во-первых, нужно поблагодарить сегодняшнего соперника и отметить то, что Гонконг с каждым годом становится более серьезным соперником, более грамотной командой. И поэтому далеко не все сегодня нам удалось, то, что мы планировали. Ну и, наверное, в этом виноват прежде всего соперник.
We can say thank you to Hong Kong for consistently improving their game, and it's really interesting to play against them now, and they're improving every year. And of course, we cannot do, the boys don't execute well all the things which we prepare for this game, but it's mainly because of the Hong Kong.
Excellent. Congratulations on the win tonight, and hopefully all the best for the tournament.
Спасибо Гонконгу за организацию.
Thank you very much to Hong Kong Football Union for organization of this tournament.
And that brings to an end the broadcast from Kings Park here in Kowloon as Game 2 for the 2017 Cup of Nations, brought to you by Regal Hotels, comes to an end with Russia defeating Hong Kong 16 points to 13 when we return. The 14th of November, 2 more games of international rugby live from Hong Kong. Please join us on behalf of Raya Surrey. we wish you a very good evening. Thanks for watching.
Gucci?